Good day everyone, my name is Coolpilot and welcome back to another episode of Civ 5 Civilization Challenge, playing as Morocco, where we are getting ready to win. Now, since we're getting ready to win, I don't want to go too far with these archaeologists, so send him here, to this guy in my own territory. Now, all we have to do is wait 5 turns for Siam to become influential with us, or for us to become influential with Siam, I should say, the other way around. And then we will win a cultural victory, because America is about to become influential right now on this turn. When everything goes through. Waiting. These turns take a really long time when you get so much area uncovered.
The internet is the first thing that humanity is.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Humanity doesn't understand. The largest experiment in anarchy that we have ever had.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So 2 turns, actually. Oh, even faster. Basilius finally adopted our religion. Culture only needs to become influential with one more civilization to win a cultural victory. Yes. 1600 culture. Truffles for gold. Well, not too important at this point. You're finally getting the Apollo project done. Ooh. I did not, starting this game, I did not expect to win a cultural game. I mean, Brazil was really running away with it. But, because it is fairly low difficulty level, was able to catch up and get ahead in science despite being behind for quite a while. And I was behind mainly because, well, mainly because of just the way I was playing the game. But I was able to turn it around. I don't really need an archaeologist now because it's about to win. So I guess just build a military base. And this guy isn't even going to have time to get anywhere. I can't get to those two. They're in Siam's territory. Don't have no open orders. I guess I can get over here though. Worker. You finished the railroad there? I'm assuming, yep. Finish up the railroads. And these guys can just kind of make their way home somehow. Sub. Come up to here. You make your way over here to help out this guy. Although I don't think you're going to get there in time. $45 healed. You make your way back down here. This place has been mostly explored, although take a peek up here just to see what's there. And you can just come back home. As can you. Make your way back here. And you make your way over here. And you make your way over here. Alright, you're going to Vancouver. Actually, I'm going to go down to the sea. Just because of all the units moving on the land. And you can just make your way right back here into our bot. And go on alert. Alright. So really this is just going to be kind of a short episode. Yep. Mainly because the other one was going on longer than I should have let it.
เราเชื่อว่านี่เป็นข้อเสนอที่ยุติธรรมสำหรับทั้งสองฝ่าย
going to refuse. See if I can't get anything for that truffles. Not that it really matters, but hey, principle of the thing. Babylon's pronounced Portugal. Everyone's really hating on Portugal for some reason. Bucharest is bankrupt. Maybe that's why. Asking for a gift of gold help them get back on their feet. Sure. Don't need to get too much. 500. It's fine. And they'll love me super, super much forever. 353, yeah. Influence increased by 20, more resistant to future tribute demands. 5 turns for world leader. I ain't getting to that. Series of channel wants salt. Well, I don't have any. You just build stuff that takes longer than the game will. Bomb shelter I don't really need. You don't really have anything for me to build. Nuclear submarine apparently does not require uranium. Well, that's convenient. Might as well build one. You... Medical center. And... research lab. No, I do want to at least build good stuff here. Museum. Hospital. Don't think I'm even going to be able to finish this. Merchant. Construct archaeological dig. Got another archaeologist. I can send to. See if there's anything closer. There's that guy over there by Melbourne. Should take 6 turns. Or 4. Let's go there. Again, not that it really matters too much. Not gonna get there. Oh, and this guy can go down here. We're not even gonna get satellites in time. Although we did finally at least find that last natural wonder. So it's not too big of an issue. Nebuchadnezzar declared war on Theodore. Everyone's going to war on each other, even though I'm the one that's winning. Northenstein. I can't build Northenstein. Because I don't have any cities next to mountains anywhere. So, can't do that. Oh yeah, I can. Finally. Purchase. This dumb... No, I can't. Because it grew. Ah, darn it. I was gonna buy Pagoda there. But I can't do that now. Because when it was 12, that was enough to be majority, but now it needs 7 in order to do that. Darn it. Well. What else can I do with that? I'm going to win next turn. What can I buy? Pretty much any great person I want to buy. I could purchase a mosque somewhere. Oh, must be in Brasilia. No, actually. Fortaleza? No. So, the heck can I purchase them? Oh, you're down here in Sardicia. I'll go ahead and do that then. Mosque. And I suppose you can finally move heresy here. And get majority religion to be ours. Which, thinking about it now, I could... oh no, I guess this place already has a mosque. Right? Mosque. Yep, already does. And you guys have finally finished that railroad. So you are now completely and utterly useless. So let's just... well, I'll keep a couple around. You over there. You down here. Keep you here. Just, you know, in case there's anything I ever need to fix. Who is this sitting in here? Oh. That makes sense. And sleep. And you would be able to finish it with Vancouver if they weren't blocking the bloody way. I'll just do it with Antonello Revo instead. And get 1,000 gold. Which I can't really use on anything. Well, I could, but it's kind of pointless. Because I'm about to win! Apparently someone else needs orders. Ah. Alert. Alright, you sufficiently exploit that. Come down here. Now I can win. Sam's picking annoying, whatever. Come on. Give me the victory. City-states finishing their turns. Longs for culture. I think I got plenty. Barbarians. And there we go.
You've achieved victory through the awesome power of your culture. Your civilization's greatness, the magnificence of its monument, and the power of its artists has astounded the world. Poets will honor you for as long as beauty brings gladness to a weary heart.
When we get a cultural victory, I actually just got 4 achievements for that. I am actually curious onto what those are. One looked like it was a map type thing. Let's see here. Come on, load. Alright. Standard issue was 1. Beat the game on a standard map. I guess I've done it on different size maps before. Once the Future King. Beat the game on King difficulty. I do not remember what the other 2 were. As it say? Oh, it just says the most recent. And I don't think there's any way to really organize these by when you've got them, so I'm just going to have to look for the November 3s in here. Yeah, standard issue. Island hopping. Beat the game on Archipelago type map. And... oh yeah, that's the same one. Where is the November 3? I'm just curious on what all of the achievements. I got 4 achievements in one game. Well, for beating one game. Yeah, Desert Life beat it on Indigo Fluid as Ahmad Al-Manzour of Morocco. Alright. So let's see, how are we doing everything? Well, we were number 1 in absolutely everything. 64 million people. 463 million bushels of crops. 158 million tons of manufactured goods. 1.1 billion gold. 4.6 million square kilometers. 368,000 soldiers. 100% approval rating. 83% literacy, I should say. Number 1 in everything. Just Caesar and ranking. Score. Because got so many interesting part is, of course, the replay. So look at some of our graphs. Score just shot through the roof as we made war with Morocco. What's this on the bottom here? Oh, the Huns. Yeah, shot up a bit with our war with the Huns, and then of course Brazil was our only real challenger uh, for this whole area. And then we shot up with Huns, and then it'll just of course decimate Brazil. But you see, we were on the bottom near the beginning, but started climbing up and around. I don't know when exactly this is. I guess 0 BC, year 0 would probably be around here somewhere. It's kind of hard to tell with the scale. But right around here, Siam and what is it, Portugal were the main competition, and then Brazil kind of joined the party, and we were all kind of in top 4 here. And then Brazil kind of started separating, and then the war with Attila just shot through the roof on score. Gold per turn city connections plummeted here with the war with Attila. I guess because they're all sea-based. And then shot back up. And then, of course, once I take over all the Brazilian cities, well, yeah, those gold per turn city connections are just going to shoot through the roof. Gold per turn deals and messy graph that doesn't mean anything. Building maintenance, it's just basically saying, how many buildings do we have? A ton. Culture per turn. This was, I'm guessing this right here, this big spike was the World's Fair. And of course, we just spiked up with, conquering Brazil. I kind of dropped for a second there, I'm guessing, with getting the last cities. It just dropped a bit and then, shot back up again. For the most part, kind of around in the middle or else, near the top for most of the time on culture. Excess happiness, another really messy graph. That's the Huns. Who's that on the bottom? Oh, Babylon, down at the bottom. Ours is right there. We were kind of low happiness for much of the time. Middle low happiness. I think we're like negative a bit right here. And then just kept going up. Food per turn, of course. Really low early on because we were in a desert. And then started going up, really high. I'm assuming this is probably when we established Rabat, because that's a super food-rich city. That was a really good city for us to settle as well. Great specialist city. And Brazil was actually in the lead, despite all the tundra and everything, with food per turn, which is a little bit surprising. And then, of course, we shot through the roof with all of our cities that we were taking over. Gold per turn, we were pretty much at the top the entire time, for the most part. America and Portugal were up there with us, but with our civ's unique ability, combined with kind of our focus on gold and the fact that our religion had tithe as well, our gold income was just outstanding. So. Golden Age turns, completely useless graph. Happiness, this is total happiness. Actually on the bottom for most of the game, our excess happiness was, kind of went, started out okay and went down as time went on, because of course growth, and then kind of shot back up, but we're at the bottom of total happiness for a really long time. And there's a whole bunch of people down here at the bottom. It looks like Brazil, America, and Portugal. Looks like those were like the 3 main civs that were, at the top most of the game. And of course, we just kind of kept going up as we, progressed with science and happiness and everything. Of course, the Huns dropped off, and Brazil dropped off sharply, and so we took over their cities. And of course, eventually eliminated them. And Portugal was actually did quite well in the happiness. By the end of the game, everyone else is kind of low on happiness. Improved tiles. Not that useful, but whatever. improvement maintenance. Look at that maintenance skyrocket as we took over Brazil. Military might. Very much at the bottom for much of the game. And this is something you'll see with most of my games. Unless I'm purposely going domination, I'll be very low on military might until I specifically start focusing on it for a war. And that's because producing military takes up time, and I much prefer to build up my cities versus building up military if I can help it. So I normally don't build up much military unless I'm going to war. You see, actually, when we went to war with Attila, because the Huns, right here, dropped off. This is when we went to war with them. They didn't have all that much military. We're actually kind of in the middle of the, well, actually, not even middle of the pack. We're that's second to lowest. Only Byzantium had fewer military units. And then we rose up a little bit here as we were battling them, and part of that was upgrades as well. But we didn't have a lot, and it's part of why many of the other Hunnic cities were taken over by several other civs, because they had a lot more military power than I did at the time. I had mostly a small navy and a few land units that ended up getting. I lost several there. That's probably what this little dip down is. You're losing several of my units. But then with upgrades and then building a bunch of units, preparing to go to war with Brazil. And it's actually originally supposed to go to war with them with, I think Portugal was wanting to go to war with them, and then never did. I think that's probably what their little build up here is that they were preparing to go to war, and asked me to. And so then I started preparing to go to war, and then they never did. So, well, I went to war by myself and just, a lot of up and down here. I'm not sure why I had a lot of up and down here. I don't remember really losing any units during that war. Maybe I lost one or two. But what did cause that big of a drop? I don't know. But, took over, quite easily. And when you're focusing, science a lot, you can get a massive spike in military might at the end of the game and just roll over everyone. Though, as you play in higher and higher difficulties, though, having military is more and more important. Having some around more and more important, because then you're going to end up in a lot more wars. It's not going to be as peaceful as this game was. Number of cities, not too useful. Not really. Tech, number of known techs. You can see here, very much at the bottom. Everyone was kind of rising at pretty decent pace. I was rising at a much slower pace. Until right around here, when I started getting, you can see this, everyone here is basically following one line for the most part. They have a bit of deviation with a couple of the civs, but they're more or less, following a single line in terms of their tech. Here I was following a much lower line. I was way behind on tech. And then, right around here, something happened. It might have been a wonder or something that caused me to start following a new line that stayed consistent throughout the rest of the game. And that was a much steeper line, of course, that led to me being way, way ahead on technology. And is, kind of, caught up with the bottom of the pack around this area, and then caught up with the top of the pack here until I just ran away with it. Number of policies. This one's a little hard to see. It looks like I'm around here. As you can see my little light green line here and here and here and here. So it looks like I was right around, following these guys right here. Near the bottom of the pack. And then I just started shooting up with, the free policies and everything. Number of workers, well, this is kind of completely useless. Population, again, very, very, very low with Marrakech because of the desert, and because we didn't get, of course, had to get the Petra and the Kasbahs in order to make Marrakech as good of a city as it is now. And it started growing with, Rabat and all the improvements to Marrakech, and then, of course, spiking with the wars. Production. Actually, looks like we did quite well. Get, right in the middle of the pack for most of the beginning of the game, first half of the game, and then ran away with production. So we actually did quite well in production, which is good to see. Science, again, bottom of the pack for a very long time, and kind of middle of the pack, and then I started to get on top, and then started running away. Score, of course, already looked at. Total culture is a mess. Total gold's also a bit of a mess. Look at that, 4,000 gold. I think that was from trade. When the not the trade routes, but the trade mission. The city states. I always forget what they're called. Total land, obviously, the wars. Although Brazil did have the most land until well, actually, once I got, once I had the war with Attila, I actually had the most land above Brazil. But, it was definite once I took him out. Unhappiness, obviously, mine is going to be the highest, because I have the most land, the most cities and everything. And with the wars as well. But I also had the most happiness, too. Unit maintenance, obviously low for much of the games. I didn't have a lot of units, and spiking up as the game went on. Portugal, for not having, they had a decent military might, but for such a so much less military might, they sure did have a lot of unit maintenance, which says to me that they must have a lot of units that are much lower in tech. Well, because they are much lower tech, tech wise. So they must have a lot of units and just not as much tech. And work tiles, much the same thing as like land and everything. Last but not least, we have the replay. See there, we founded Marrakech. Let's see, where's everyone else? Wait a second. Let's actually see where everyone else is first. So we started a few turns later to get the best spot. Brazil was up here, Attila down here, Siam, Washington, America, Byzantium's over here, Portugal, and Babylon's really hard to see right there on this map just because the color blends in with the ocean. So of course we just focused on our capital for a long time. Brazil started expanding. Everyone started expanding for the most part. America didn't expand for a while, and of course the troll city by Brazil. Brazil was really kind of spamming cities early on. That troll city, taking the spot I was thinking of. And we finally founded our second city around 120. That'd be Rabat. And everything just kind of slowly expanded. Not much back and forth, and we found our other city here, which I actually don't remember the names. We're on 180. Byzantium was kind of spread out in area a lot. Of course, we were too, but it was at least decently, somewhat close in area, in space. And of course, the war with Attila here. Sam founds a city right next to them, and then you start taking stuff over, free the city-state. Portugal takes that city, and then I focus on Attila's court and whatever that city was again. What happened with the... Oh, right, we did a citadel there. Get a bit of land, get a little land advantage there. I think to get a few resources as well. Then we wipe out Brazil very, very quickly. That was like a matter of a few turns. How much was it? 329, 330, 331. So first city on 332, 333 in the next couple cities, and then 335 and 336. So it's like 4 or 5 turns to take over the entire nation, minus the city down here, which we ignored, and then Portugal killed off. And then that was it. So that went quite well. What turn did we found? Ours, we found it on turn 2. But yeah, that went quite well. A bit of that is the difficulty. I definitely do have to turn the difficulty up next time. I'm thinking I might turn it up towards Immortal, but I'll have to kind of see on that. But yeah, that went quite well. It was... I was kind of unsure of things, early on, and if, I would succeed much because of... partially, a little bit because of Brazil kind of running away with the culture, taking that spot to the North America edge that I was wanting to go to. But it turned out alright. Marrakech ended up being a bit of a powerhouse, and Rabat certainly was, in terms of, giving us stuff. We played smartly. The War of Attila was really kind of unnecessary. Those 2 cities never really gave us all that much, but the war with Brazil was perfection. I mean, 6 turns to take over the entire nation because we had gotten so ahead on science. That was both ridiculous, silly, and incredibly enjoyable. Just being able to march straight over, right over the country like that, and just take everything over. And use it for our own gains, and ended up winning a cultural victory off of that war. I mean, we would not have won a cultural victory without taking over Brazil. It would not have been possible because Brazil was too far ahead in that. But by taking it over, getting all of their cultural buildings, and more importantly, all their works and their cultural wonders, because they had, gobbled up most of those cultural wonders. By getting all of that, and also by eventually eliminating Brazil outright, so we didn't have to spend 20-some turns catching up with their culture output, we were able to win with a cultural victory, even though we were going towards diplomatic. I said at the very beginning, probably going to go towards diplomatic. We were going towards diplomatic the whole game. We were about to win a diplomatic victory even. I mean, I could go just one more turn, go a few more turns, and win another victory. Then I could even go longer and win a science victory too, because we're so far ahead. But we won with culture. Kind of the way the games can go sometimes. I mean, you can be, really going towards one victory, and even be really close to finishing that victory, and then end up with another one. Just depending on the things that happen, like taking over Brazil. So that was quite enjoyable, and for me, hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Next time we will be playing... I don't actually remember what the next civ is. I don't remember what the next civ is, but we'll be playing the next civ in line. I suppose we can exit the main. Alright, so now that we're back in the main menu here, let's actually take a look at what our next civilization will be here. Where is the civilization? Civilizations and leaders. Alexander of Greece. So we're playing as Alexander the Great next time, which city-state influence creates a half and recovers a twist on home weight. Another diplomatic game. Although obviously, different power. A power that's, a little more aimed towards diplomatic and early game military units. I'm normally not much of one for early game military stuff unless I'm going down my nation. But I'll have to look a little more closely at Greece and their unit and powers, and think about strategy and what I might want to do. But that will be it for this episode and this leader. we have completed Morocco with we've completed Morocco with Ahmad Amzur. Ugh, that is a bit difficult to pronounce at times. So we have one civilization down, a whole buttload to go. I will say something though, I will most likely come back and revisit Morocco at a higher difficulty level once we finish all of these other guys. Just because this game it did end up a bit of a runaway there. I'd like to see. I'd like to play Morocco at a higher difficulty level as well. Just to me, they are a very powerful civilization, particularly with the way in which I play the game. So it's something I definitely want to revisit later. And so join in next week as we'll be starting a playthrough as Alexander the Great. See you guys then.